Ladies and gentlemen, down here in the bottom right-hand corner, the man whose life is on the line if he wants to make it to IPL 6 via this satellite qualifier. He is alive. His opponent in the top left-hand corner. Kind of funny, actually, their names coinciding with each other. He means to return to life after once having been no longer alive. He's a Revival. Yes, and the one thing that I realized about the 4 players that we have left, because don't forget, guys, this is the first of 3 best-of-3s we're going to cast today. We have Hyun versus Puma right after this. Then we're going to have the losers of both these sets play, because there are actually 3 people that get spots at IPL 6 out of each qualifier. We are guaranteed at least our 3rd Terran player in IPL 6, because either Alive and Puma are going to win their respective semifinals, or if they would both end up losing, one of those has to go to IPL 6. So, good news, everyone. We're going to have another Terran. At least one. We could have 2, though. Yeah. A lot of people going to be pulling for that, of course. Maybe not the Terrans out there. They'd like to see some Terran buffs, as if there aren't enough in Heart of the Swarm. So I've been playing Terran exclusively in Heart of the Swarm, Kevin. I really want to improve my Terran play. It's my weakest race right now. Spider Mines are pretty good. Yes. Very good, in fact. Well, you heard what happened today, right? Especially in the leagues that I'm playing with Terran. What happened today? Hellbat's cargo is now officially up to 4 instead of 2, so you can only fit 2 Hellbats per medevac. So appropriate. Yes. I agree with that. Completely necessary. Yeah. 4 Roach drops, essentially, at the beginning of games, pretty good, from what I've been told. Actually, everyone just hates them forever. Wait. They have very similar. They have very similar stats, only with AOE added on top of it. The Hellbats do. Like you're basically a mobile Roach that can be healed by medevacs, and you have AOE. Now, see, that's one I just. How does the lore work for that? Because like when they transform their suit and they're in race car mode, they don't get healed, which is a little interesting to me. So how? I don't know. You're asking the wrong person about lore. Like when it transforms, do the pieces like come together and form a bionic heart? I hope so. I don't know. I'm curious to the lore behind why Hellbats are bio units. All right, guys. Alive is going to be moving a couple of... No, he decided to turn around with it. There's actually an Overlord here to the left. We'll see if it gets spotted. It comes in. It sees the command center and does reveal itself to the SUV. So Alive is going to go poke this guy out of the way. He won't kill it by any means, but he's aware that his command center has been scouted. He'll get a little damage in, of course. Revival hasn't really done anything different so far. Alive did. He decided to go for his barracks first, then expand, then gas right afterwards. So he switched things up from the command center first that we saw in Cloud Kingdom. Now, Revival, on the other hand, has shown us nothing different. Going for two hatcheries, no gas, going to be 4 queens here in a second, start that creep spread. We talk about maps like Cloud Kingdom that are important for creep spread. This is the other one that's incredibly important on. Because of the amount of open space in the middle, the maneuverability you give to your units, the ability to, again, outright deny bases with creep, it's very important here. You know, also another factor relative to importance, because remember, it takes time, it takes APM, it takes coordination and foresight in order to spread your creep, especially to spread it quickly. And this is one of the easiest maps to spread creep on. So in some ways you could say that there's no excuse not to have great creep spread on Ohana, because there's virtually, even where there are vision boundaries, they're only small. Oh boy. Revival likes his roaches, man. Oh boy. So remember when I said a second ago, it's like, hey, there wasn't much difference because he was a 26 supply and didn't have gas down yet. Yeah, when you double gas immediately afterwards and throw down a Roach Warren, you want to put on some pressure. We see 2 more Overlords being made right now. He's going to have a supply cap of 60 here momentarily. That's going to provide him the ability to make as many Roaches as he wants. Well, 400 minerals, 120-ish gas. He'll be making at least 5, 6, 7. I'm going to throw out a number like 8. We'll see as it continues to accrue. But Revival Man, he loves Roaches. This is the player who, back when Queens actually did not have the range buff, and everyone used spine crawlers to defend on maps like Metalopolis. Oh, yeah. Way back. And players would actually build 2 spine crawlers to defend against it. When like Reactor Hellion Expand was like the build. Revival, nobody else did it. Revival would make 2 Roaches to defend against Hellions. And he just likes Roaches, man. That's the moral of this Santa Claus story. Well, it looks like he's going to have 8 in total, and he is droning up behind this. So this is the Roach pressure into let's get myself an advantage, deny their economy, and let's go from there. Not quite the Roachling all in. So he's going to put on pressure here. Oh, it catches couple of Marines out. Now, the one thing Alive has going for him, of course, is he did decide to go for Banshees, and this wasn't like that super quick build a factory and go for a third command center kind of thing. And he's already taken a lot of precautions with a bunker up at the top of the ramp, lifting his orbital command inside. He's going to help mitigate a little bit of the damage that's done here.
Now, here's the layer behind it. If Revival doesn't lose... See, here's the thing. So, because this is working out so great for Revival, he'll probably keep attacking until most or all of these Roaches have died.
Yeah, and he's actually picked off a lot of SCVs, and he outright killed the bunker. It wasn't canceled, so...
Wow.
I've got to say, Revival, given the fact that Alive picked up on this so quick and has good control with his Roaches here, he's done way more damage than I anticipated he would.
Shuffling the Roaches around, keeping the full health ones in the front, the injured ones in the back. Revival really wants to kill that supply depot, and he will.
Now, one thing I think he's got to be worried about, he saw this Tech Lab starport, and nothing's hit him yet. So is he preparing back at home for these Banshees?
Well, it's got the Evo chamber, and knowing his timings, well, he should start throwing down spores. There they are as he sees the Banshee actually coming in, so he will react responsively to the Banshee. I don't know, man, if you notice that starport. Queen's about to go down. One will die. That should be it.
Yeah, Cloak's going to be finished up here in just a second. There it is. He cloaks and gets away, but of course the Spore Crawlers are almost done. It's only going to take one more hit for that to die. Gets out of the way, though, just in time. Overseer is morphing in and finishes up, but the Banshee has successfully made it out of there.
I wish Overseers had an ability called Bump, and they could just hit you for like a damage, and just bump into you.
Just once or twice, something like that, so...
A little unnecessary now as we are moving out of Wings of Liberty to make any drastic changes like that, though.
What? No, make battle cruisers 15 speed. Like, just randomly. Like, as a parting gift, just do something absurd. Or, like, make motherships like 50 minerals.
Overseer is going to make its way out now, and having, well, scouted the transition to Siege Tech, which is definitely what we should be expecting here. We see the Revival's actually going to go for a Spire.
Yep. That's right. So going up to his third base right now to third hatchery, and Spire's well on the way, so he will be able to get in some significant damage. A little surprised he's still going with Zerg missile attacks level 1, but no, never mind. He does have 5 Roaches on the way, so maybe this is some sort of a well-coordinated Roach plus Mutalisk attack, because obviously late game Infestors aren't going to be able to take advantage of that plus missile attack anymore. Thank God.
Yeah.
I'm just putting that out there.
So. He's also accompanying this with Burrow, though, which I find very interesting.
Yes.
And well, he could just intend to, you know, burrow Zergling over at the third, in which case, a lot of times you say it's worth it, because you trade Burrow for a scan, and you just paid for Burrow, essentially.
Yeah.
It does pay off a little bit later, of course, when they go to take the third base. So minerals and resources in general are more valuable earlier in the game, so it's not always the best trade to make, but... If he intends to use these with the Roaches, it could be very, very interesting indeed.
I actually really love this. This is almost a... it's not quite all-in, but it's close. I mean, this is like a Roach Mutalisk all-in. Because he had really good vision of his opponent, and he actually scouted just a couple of minutes ago with his Overseer and didn't see any other barracks that were being constructed. Only the one reactored barracks that was sitting there pumping out unupgraded Marines.
Yeah.
So he's going to have weak Marines that are really weak against Roaches to begin with. He's going to have sustain in his army to make his way up and kill anything that's up in the front, and then the Mutalisks, because the Marines are totally unupgraded, will either be able to pick off the Marines or get it into economic damage. This is a really well thought out attack from Revival.
It definitely is really cool. I'm just a little confused by the +1 missile attacks, because it actually doesn't help in killing Marines. You still take 4 shots to kill them, the same as if you had no upgrades, and he's seen that Alive is mostly gone for those. Now, actually, if Alive had combat shields, then it would make a difference. So I think maybe he's expecting the combat shields is going to wrap up soon, but Alive actually hasn't opted for that at all. It's only just now getting started. Yeah. So that upgrade won't help him in the end. He actually would have benefited more off an opening with Carapace. But ultimately, you know, it'll still do more damage to SCVs, things like bunkers. These bunkers will fall faster because of that upgrade, so it's not going to be completely without merit.
All right. Well, he's teching up behind this. He's got... This is essentially turned into a Roach contain now. As looks like this Changeling actually gets perfect vision of everything.
Yeah,
very cool stuff. So he knows exactly what's going on.
Just had a flashback to that. Have you seen the newest StarCrafts?
No, I haven't.
Changeling goes around with a little notepad, and he's taking notes on everything, and like this Reaper's like realizes what's going on. It's pretty cool. He starts following the Changeling everywhere, but he accidentally kills one of his allied Marines because he thinks it's the Changeling.
I love me some StarCrafts. Really
Only the Executor is allowed to, like, Banshee gets taken out.
Yeah, Banshee gets picked off there. Mutalisks were flying up like, well, okay, all right. That's a fair amount of Roaches, though, still remaining in this army. But, of course, now it's not dead weight that's sitting there in that army, but it's not as useful as it would have been in an attack a few minutes ago, as, unfortunately, these Roaches are going to, where they're very good against unupgraded Marines and a couple of tanks and busting things at the beginning of this game, even good against mech as you move along.
Yeah.
They're not that good against really upgraded bio.
Be honest, I think that Revival believed his opponent was going for mech.
Yeah.
We saw the starport lift up. It was immediately replaced by a factory that began researching something. You saw the quick 4 gases, which were actually going to be used for, the cost of cloaked Banshee backed up by a quick siege tanks.
Yep.
So everything there really could have looked like mech, and then he only made 3 Mutalisks. 3? 3 Mutalisks to me is you make your opponent look like you're going for Mutalisks so that he makes Thor, and then you come in with a billion Roaches and he doesn't have siege tanks because he thought you were going to make Mutalisks, and all he's got is Thor Hellion, and you kill him with a bunch of Roaches. Revival, of course, was completely wrong about what his opponent was going for and is now facing off with Roaches versus Marines with Stim, with combat shields and siege tanks, and he's in for a little bit of trouble right now. Roaches don't fare so well at this stage of the game versus Marine tank.
And he just realized he hadn't made a Baling Nest yet. So Baling Nest was started about 20 seconds ago, but it's not going to be there for this engagement, so of course he has to then just make a bunch of Roaches. And this is a very strong 2-base play coming out of Alive. He's cleaned up some creep tumors. He's sitting pretty with these tanks where they're not going to be surrounded by any Banelings, and it's going to have to rely mostly on Infestor control, but the Infestors actually tanked most of the damage up the front. The Zerglings don't even have speed. There's a lot of Roaches that are coming in from behind, and we'll see if Revival still has enough to take this down, but Alive is just crushing face there.
He is. 13 more Roaches on the way right now, but it's just not the unit Revival needs, but it's the only thing he can make, because he doesn't even have speed yet for his Lings. It's just about to finish. Revival having Roach speed +1 missile attacks. He just doesn't have the right tools to fight his adversary right now.
He did still dish out a lot of damage there. The medevacs
he did. He killed 2 siege tanks.
Yeah, I mean, that was... it was about, I will say the latter part of the engagement was about as good as it got. At the beginning of it, it was actually a really critical mistake, just leading with the Infestors and watching 3 of those get blown up instantly.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. It's always good to throw down 1 infested Terran egg before you actually go in with the Infestors, and he actually kind of just, face-checked.
Yep, basically.
Yep.
Face-check the brush. No good. So let's see here. Alive now has a very powerful Marine Marauder army that's running up to the front. He's actually committed to just completely bio now. He's actually bypassed all of his tanks entirely, which I actually don't agree with because it's a similar situation to what we saw before, but on the flip side, the longer this goes along, the more prepared he's going to be. Oh god, and 2 more Infestors get killed. He's going to be more prepared for large bio forces with Banelings soon.
He's got some Lings coming in at least. We'll see if that proves enough. Very nice fungal growth on the right-hand side, and actually with the Roach flank, he will be able to clean this up with Roaches initially. It looked really bad for Revival with those reinforcements, making all the difference. And let's point out right now that the supply is 146 to 98, and he's only got 11 Roaches, so his supply's not that inflated. Also, Revival's going to Greater Spire right now.
But yeah, Alive's kind of missed his opportunity. I mean, he's struggling to put down a 3rd base right now. Can't do it because there's a burrowed Roach that's sitting underneath.
18 minutes and no 3rd out of Alive.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, if there's any... Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's missed his opportunity. He had an opportunity to do a big, strong 2-base attack and deny economy. His opponent was not set up for a large bioforce. He had the perfect counter units to it, but couldn't get through. And now, Revival is on Greater Spire, Ultralisk Cavern, Banelings, Infestors, and has all of the tech that he needs, along with the economy. Exactly. 5th base. He's been on 8 gas for a long time now. Things are looking really good for him.
Yeah, Alive just being a little too hyper-aggressive, I guess, but not in a way that was able to allow him to secure the game. Revival's macro behind his inferior composition was too good. Alive's now going to have to fall back from this attack. There's a bird infestor, though, that's watching everything.
That's right, and that's that actually gave the signal to Revival to just go for it.
Go.
Tanks are being produced right now. Look at the one actually just being run past. That was kind of funny to me.
Save me!
I don't know if Alive has what it takes to actually just hold off this little engagement.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep, oh, go for the 3rd!
Oh,
Run
boy.
away!
Oh, boy.
Run away!
Oh, he actually tried to duck into the orbital command just a second ago.
He what?
Oh, he tried to duck into the 3rd with the Banelings there, but it was just a little bit too late.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to matter too much. No. Revival appearing to have 2-0'd his opponent. Alive which is quite a feat, guys. Alive has been playing quite soundly throughout this tournament, but looking like he's going to go down here. Talons of Revival.
All right, drop gets cleaned up, and that's what Alive needed to be able to make his way back into this, but the third is denied, and Revival's on 5 bases. You just can't compete with that sort of economic disadvantage. And we're sounding very gloom and doom. Alive had his opportunity in this game. He could have gotten some damage in, failed to do it, unfortunately, and now Revival is in a commanding position.
Yeah, I mean, the only way that Alive can actually... Well, Alive can't win this by simple means. He cannot double expand to catch up. He actually needs Revival to completely throw this game, and it's not going to happen. Fungal Groves landing on the entire army. Alive is mopped up, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is GG.
All right, so Revival takes the set 2-0, and that's going to send Alive down into the third place match, unfortunately. So our first Terran comes up and falls.
Well, there is still a chance for 2 Terrans to move on.
That's right.
Yeah, we'll need to see Puma manage to proceed forwards to the finals, and Alive will have to defeat, well, actually, yeah, that's
the loser of Hyun versus Puma.
Is basically what's going to have to happen for 2 Terrans to move on. But as of now, it's going to be, I was like, what? I saw QXC, but I thought he got knocked down.
No, QXG, Quantic Gaming.
Well, that is a tag that I... You know how, like, when something really big and monumentous happens, you, like, remember it, you know? So I remembered Quantic was like, oh, it's like, I'm never going to write QXG again. And then I saw QX. I was like, this doesn't make sense.
No.
So Quantic Reborn, guys, if you've been out for the last, 2 weeks now, I think it is.
Yeah.
Quantic Reborn is back.
That's right, and they star a player that we're very partial to here at the IGNProLeague, Hyun, as he has rejoined this team after TSL disbanded. So very cool to see him. We'll see what he can do against Evil Geniuses Puma. Guys, we're going to run to a commercial break. We're also going to throw it to our daily news segment. So let's go ahead and run to that. We'll be right back with our second best of 3 of the night, Hyun versus Puma, after this.